Brian Holloway. I just want to take this moment. I've been so busy. I really apologize because I've been in front of the cameras for ABC, NBC, Leno, The View, and everything else, but I really need to be in front of the cameras for you. I just want to thank so many of the volunteers from all over the world that have sent their messages and emails of support about what happened here. I want to thank you for taking a stand for the lives of children who are making some bad decisions, who are on the right track. You know, you look at what happened up here. 300 kids invaded my home and trashed it, and our family's been devastated. But, you know, somewhere along the way, they got off track, and we've got to find the way back. And so all of us pulling together can do this. It's not just something that affects the community here. It's affecting all our communities across the country. And we've learned so many new things that all parents need to be responsible for and to have a heads up for their own personal strategy to really anchor and secure their teenagers during this treacherous turn called adolescence. What was shocking in learning all this, we've got all the information through social media and digital. We learned that between the ages of 12 and 17, the teenagers, the average amount of social media communication per week is over 5,000. And could you imagine what it means if we as parents don't monitor that? So it's really a time for us to really think it the new ways that our children are being invaded and being having them seduced, or the predatory communication that goes on. There's a reason why that these kids are in such a treacherous time. We need to take control of that and take the power back. So I just want to give you a heads up on that. I'm going to share some of the digital product that we found out about that we really like, and we want to continue. Thank you so much for all the communication, like I said, from all over the country. Thank you so much for the donations that have been coming in. They made such a big help in getting some of the projects done and some of the damage repaired. We probably got about 5-6 days left. It'll be completely done. Again, I just want to say thank you. Thank you to the military veterans and their families for coming up there. Thank you for being our heroes. Thank you for putting everything on the line every single day. Thank you for protecting us and keeping us safe by putting yourself in harm's way. So God bless you and your family. I want to thank that. I also want to give a shout out to the breast cancer people. You know, just keep in the fight, stay in it. It's a wonderful, courageous group of people who've dedicated to completing that journey and finding a solution. I'm a big proponent of that. My mother was not a survivor. So I just want to thank you, give you a shout out for that. Emergency responders, want to give you a shout out too. There's no one that knows the hours you put in and the danger you put yourself in to save people's lives. So thank you for that. Okay, let me see what else I need to get handled here. When you send the emails to me at Brian Holloway at Yahoo and they're being returned, I actually do read them, and that's me actually typing those out. You know, I told you about my father, a military man who was very serious and very disciplined. My senior year, when I was leaving Churchill High School in Potomac, Maryland, I just got a scholarship at Stanford. I thought I was going to have a summer that I could enjoy before I went off to summer camp. No, that's not my dad. He sent me to professional typing school where I had to learn how to type with professional people. It was the most agonizing thing I've ever went through. In the summer of my senior year, getting up and getting on a bus at 6 o'clock in the morning, getting there at 9 o'clock and working till 4 o'clock learning typing speed. Well, thank you, Dad, because, you know, I type at 80 words a minute and I've been communicating. And so when I type back, that's me. And I may not spell things perfectly, but I guarantee you that's me answering things personally. Thank you so much for all your responses. Heads up, for those of you that were at the party, if there's stuff you've stolen, look, just come up here, drop it at the end of the driveway. Okay, no one will ever know, but just please return that. There was so much that going on. I can't possibly wrap my head around everything that happened, but all I'm saying is if you stole something, just return it, all right? No one will just drop it off, okay? I'd really appreciate that. Parents, this is a time where I talked about taking back control. I mean, we've got to all do that. Tammy and I made sure we were dedicated to do that. And if that means being able to go in and let your children know that they don't have a right to privacy. You're a teenager. You don't have a right to privacy. You're a child. And if it means going up and they're acting a little nutty, you know, pull the door off their room. I promise you it changes them. I promise you you have the ability to go and take control of that because you're the parent, right? So really stand up for that. Look, I'm no folk hero and I'm no super parent. I'm just a parent like anyone else. But I take that role and responsibility, as Tammy does, very seriously. The digital product, now pay attention, please. The digital product we like the most, and I want you to test this. So if you can test this, get this product. It's an app. Okay, I don't have any affiliation or association. I don't get any paid money for saying this or promoting this, but it's the one we like. It's the first one. It's called Mama Bear. It's an application that allows you to be able to use your phone to track all the digital communications that your children are having. In addition to that, it allows you to identify exactly where they are. It allows you to identify if they happen to be speeding. And it's a way for them to also interact with you, because if they're in a bad situation and they can't make it through and dial the numbers, they can press a couple buttons that let you know they are in danger and they need your help. So I want you to check that out. I want you to test it, see if you like it, and send back your responses, because that may be a real big product that everyone should pay attention to all across the country. I mean, this is a moment that turned into a movement. We need to know what's going on in our children's lives and use the digital technology that they use. It may take a little while to learn it, get someone to help you learn how to use it, but really everyone needs to go and understand those 5,000 communications that the teenagers have a week. We need to know what's going on, right? That makes sense? Okay, great. And we need to know what's going on at these parties. I just learned this. It blows my mind. Do you know these teenagers have parties called pharmacy parties? That's where they take all the prescription medicines that are in the cabinets of other friends, relatives, uncles, and they dump it in a bowl at a party. And they drink and decide what pill to take. They don't even know what it is. They're mixing drugs and alcohol. How dangerous is that? You know what that's called? That's called kids dying. And we need to be aware of that to continue this campaign to save children's lives. Speaking of saving their lives, I told you my commitment that I wanted to share with you about saving 300 lives. We found out there weren't 300 people at the party up here. There were close to 500 people. And at the party, they were planning a party for 4,000 to 5,000 the following week. It was going to be their own Woodstock. You know, if that would have happened, we would have buried some teenagers. You know that. So thank you for your commitment. Thank you for your support, because we have already saved lives, and that's important. And for parents who are upset with me, and they, all I did was post what your child had posted online. That's all. But you're upset with me? Look, they're alive. Your child is alive. Okay? That's get on your knees and thank God that your child is alive after they put themselves in enormously harm's way, right? This was a dangerous party. It wasn't crazy fun. It was dangerous. Okay. Here's another thing I learned. There's this thing called roofies. I guess roofie is this date rape drug. Okay? But this isn't now being just administered by guys to give to girls. There's a thing they're doing that's called roofie roulette. Roulette? Yeah. Where they sit there and they take a roofie as a girl, and then they try to piece back together what happened to them the night before. How does that make sense? Is that not a strong signal that we need to do something and we need to pay attention? Because we're losing the teenagers in the turns, right? So give a heads up. I mean, let's get smart about all this together. I talked to you about the pharmacy party. We covered that. Let's talk about Get It Right. So many of you have been so helpful in providing additional names. Okay, some of the names that you provided to me were not 100% accurate. So I need to come to you, those people whose names were posted on the list. Thank you very much for giving me a call so we could take them off. For people whose name were on the list, I want to say to you, if I want to get it right, okay, which means please accept this as my apology. If your name was put on the list, then it shouldn't have been on there. Okay, so I got information that wasn't accurate. And you know what? I apologize to you. And so if you need me to do any more cleaning up, all you need to do is send me an email and I can talk to anyone you like. I'll call them personally so we can get that handled and get it right, okay? My apologies. We got it straightened out, and that's not going to happen again. But like I said, I'll go the extra mile and take accountability for what happened, and I will go and make personal phone calls on your behalf to anyone you need me to get everything straightened out, okay? Finally, I want to say this. I said in the beginning, everything that was broken can be fixed. It's being fixed. In another week, we'll have everything done. Everything that's stolen can be returned. But really, this idea of really paying attention to and having the wake-up call as to what's going on in our teenagers' lives, in their schools, and in this area called this digital communication, we've got to understand that flurry of activity that's going on. in their minds, in their lives, in their ideas, as they're seeing stuff that's beyond our imagination. Tap into that, be able to recapture the communication that your children are having, and be able to help them steer, lift them up, let them see that bigger future that's available for them. And it requires that you as a parent take that stand for their greatness, right? We can all do this together, and let's start one day at a time. For those of you that are interested in starting your own Help Me Save 300 chapters all across the country, put it together. Do it. Don't wait for me. Put it together and take action to help your teammates. Help them get into a higher place. Help them see further. And help them being able to turn around those situations where they find themselves in peer pressure and people want them to go off and do some crazy stuff at a party. Cut that out. Not everyone's doing that. There's some students who are hardworking and studying and preparing and looking forward to college. And they're in the library on the weekends at college, studying and getting better. That's what it takes to be successful, and that's what it takes to build your dream. Don't play small. Go for the greatness that's been put in you. Everyone has that. And don't let yourself down. There's too much of a future that's available for everyone if you're willing to make a commitment every single day. I'll get to you more. We'll talk later. I got to get back to work.